What's up, everybody? Welcome to Fun in the Country Basement. I'm Walter, and you are watching Country 3D. And I'm going to give it to my buddy Glenn here so he can tell you all about himself and what he does.
Hello, everybody, and I am Glenn from Fun King 3D, and welcome to this week's Fun in the Country Basement. Fun King 3D is a father and son's channel that doesn't do a whole lot of anything lately, but we like to do 3D printing and electronic projects, and yeah, we can be found just about everywhere at Fun King 3D.
And I'm Walter Country 3D. You are on my channel. It is just Glenn and I again today. I did not get us a guest for today. I guess I could have. I'm just lazy and I didn't. And that is completely 100% Glenn's fault, but you know, we'll forgive him this time.
I guess I'll accept that.
I think that, and you can find me everywhere at Country 3D. I have not been on social media much as of late. I am taking a hiatus until January. Mr. Christopher is still on business trips. He told me yesterday, I think it was yesterday or day before, that he will be back late this evening. So I don't believe he'll be joining us. Hold on, let me pop over to the chats here. We have Paul Cumber. I know you asked Glenn, but yes, I did get your Christmas card. I don't know if Glenn did or not.
I have not. I did not swing by the post office. I almost did this morning, and then I ended up getting busy, but I will swing by the post office and check my box.
Well, we definitely have the base of the country club, Fun Country Club, whatever you want to call it, with the Fun in the Country Basement. I call them the Country Club because, you know, they're all part of the country club that I see on here. So I can't wait till January, and I know that's rushing it to the New Year's and all that stuff, but I'm ready to get back into streaming a couple times a week, working on some things. I know there's one project everybody wants me to get back on. I got to get back on it and get it done. That
wouldn't be the Stargate, would it?
Oh my God, he gave him a square. But you know, and y'all may not know this, but the guy that designed the Stargate is actually working, and this is why I'm holding off a little bit, believe it or not, because we've already went through the thing about me soldering and all that. But he is changing the Stargate design so that it uses NeoPixels instead of those SMDs. And I'm sorry, but y'all know that NeoPixels would be a lot easier to work with than SMDs that are the size of a grain of sand.
I actually talked to that guy that designed that, and he said the reason that he decided to do that was just so that you would finally finish the project.
Yeah, right. I can almost believe that. I can almost believe that.
That guy was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna redesign it so Walter will finally finish it."
Guys, I'm gonna step right here out of camera. I got to load this filament into this printer.
He's got to adjust his underwear, and he doesn't want you to see it happen.
Right. Actually, believe it or not, I had to go buy some new pants day before yesterday. So I went to Walmart, and I am down from a size 40 to a size 36.
That's awesome.
Yes, it is. And I went ahead and bought some rustlers because, you know, I don't plan on stopping right now. I've still got another 15 pounds or so to lose.
Yeah. So don't put out big money now.
Right. So I got me a pair of $11 jeans, and
do you have Rural King near you? Do you have a Rural King?
No, I never heard of them.
Oh, they're I forget where they started, but they're nationwide, but it's kind of like spread in between. But that's a great place to buy Wrangler jeans.
Oh yeah. I get you. Well, I'm going to start a print.
But that is not going to do you any good if you ain't got one. So
no, right. And unfortunately, 40 to the 36 is Walter's shoe. What? I don't get that.
Unfortunately, 40 to the 36 is Walter's shoe size. I guess your feet shrunk.
I guess. No. Old curmudgeon says, "Dang, Walter, almost my size." No, buddy, you're tall and skinny, buddy. But you're like, ain't you taller than me? I think you're like 6'2". So he is a little scrawnier than I am. I really want to get down to around 205 to 210 pounds is where I need to stay. That is like where I need to be. So
I seem to have leveled off at like high 191 to low 192s.
But how tall are you?
6 foot.
Are you? Yeah, I don't.
But I've never. I mean, from the point that I broke over 200 when I was like 6 years old, I don't remember ever being under 200. So this is something, shockingly amazing for me. But
now, bud, when I got out of the Army, I was 181.
Yeah.
6 foot tall, just a bone. And I really don't want to be there. I want to be right around the 200, 210 marks where I want to be. And right now I am at 228. So I've got a few more pounds to lose. I could lose 20 and be happy. Heck, I could lose 10 or 15 and be happy. Let me tell you now, but it's going slowly but surely going. It's hard because yesterday I actually ate hamburgers and hot dogs that's like been the biggest cheat meal I've had since I've been on this diet.
You didn't eat the bread though, right?
Oh yes, I did. No, I ate the bread. I ate the bread.
Yeah, it was. We had our company Christmas party this weekend, and the desserts came out, and it was a cake. And I'm not sophisticated enough to know what kind of cake, but it was it had coconut and lime in it, which are two of the wife's least favorite flavors. So she took like one little bite of it and she's like, I don't like it. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. And I slid that bad boy over to me. So I ate 2 pieces of that cake and I was like,
all right. Well, I will tell you that we're having chicken fajitas tonight. So, and somebody asked me the other day, they're like, how are you losing the weight so fast? And I've told y'all, eat less, blah, blah, blah. But the suggested weight loss plan that I'm on says I'm supposed to eat 1,770 calories per day. I have been averaging less than 900 per day. So that's why, and I will tell you, I told you I took all those servers out of my house the other day.
Right.
Well, when I took those out the other day, I had zero energy. I mean, none. So there is a downside to losing that weight the way I'm losing it.
Yeah.
So, and it's not healthy. Don't get me wrong, it's not healthy. But I needed to do it quickly so that I can get to where I need to be, and then maintain. So by December the 27th, I hope to be around the 210 mark.
Yeah.
So that's another 18 pounds in the next 12 days or 19 days.
4 CPUs for me says 900 calories is way too low. And agreed. I think Walter agrees with that too. So
no, I do. I absolutely agree with that. Do not do that.
No.
Now, don't get me wrong. I was eating a healthy 900 calories. I was getting plenty of protein and plenty of like foliage, but I wasn't getting any like fat intake, no carbohydrates at all. Right. None of that.
Well, and that's where the bulk of your energy comes from, is those carbohydrates. But
exactly.
It's also where the bulk of your blood sugar comes from.
Right.
So now, do they have you monitoring your blood sugar, or you have to wait until you go for the?
No, I have to wait until I go for the thing.
Yeah, that kind of sucks to not know.
Yeah, it does, but
Well, hey, did you know that we're live?
I know. Are we live?
Thanks, YouTube. Right on time.
I know, right? What's up, Alan Moritz? How are you? Good morning. Morning, my foot. It's 4:10 in the afternoon. All right. Well, it's printing. That's what I can say about it, is that it is printing. I'm gonna let it run. I'm printing a tree frog. This is the first time, guys, and wait, I gotta tell y'all. My TiVo is printing. Last Sunday, I said I was gonna work on it this Sunday, but I had an idea about Wednesday, and I decided to try it right before we got on live, and that was the exact problem I had, and I'll explain it to you. If you have the Duet, and you go through your calibration steps, it creates a file called config-override.config or whatever, G-code or whatever it is. You have to delete that file, or anything you do in the settings file isn't going to work. And I did not do that last Sunday. So I didn't delete it. I renamed it today and hit the calibration. It calibrated just fine. It first print is moving along just fine. Everything is working just like it's supposed to. So that was all me last week. Config-override on Duet. You have to remove that in order for your new config to take hold.
Now, as a YouTuber, you should have gone in this morning and put that config file back in there, worked on it, and then suddenly discovered it on TV.
No, and you know, Glenn, that is one reason, that is not what my show is all about. My show is all about honesty and transparency. And if I did that, that would be dishonest.
That's right. It's also about letting all the good content be happening when the camera's not rolling.
Right. Well, you know.
Paul, my wife's doing very well. Thank you for asking. Of my two children, one's doing well. The other one's a pain in the butt. You guys get to decide which one's which. All right. So I have a child who can't handle surprises. So Christmas time is really fun in this house. And it really made me laugh the other day because my sister, I have two older sisters, and the middle child sister was always terrible at Christmas time. Like, she would spend the whole time leading up to Christmas snooping through the house until she found the Christmas presents so that she could see what she was getting before Christmas. Like, she would ruin it for herself every year. She might be watching right now. So, and then there was even years when, like, she roped me into it too because she wanted to know what I was getting. You know, like, come on, I'm going to teach you this cool trick. So the other day, young Padawan was freaking out because he wanted to know what he was getting for Christmas, and it reminded me so much of my sister that I had to text her and let her know that somehow they came from the same bloodline.
I am super willing to take this over to the house and replace that bear that I have running over there. That sounds like a jet engine taking off while it's printing. This thing is so much quieter than that. And this ain't even a quiet printer either. So, Stephen the Lightspeed, I did. I actually read your email after I had my idea. I get you. I understand, and thank you for that. Sean Gould asked me what I was printing. This is a tree frog, just for a test on this, to make sure it was just going to start right up and print after sitting over there for 4 months, not even plugged in. And sure enough, I just hit print, and it's printing. And back here on the TiVo, I am printing one of the articulate reindeers, the elf and Santa Claus back here for Christmas figurine. And 3D Jimmy says if I get much thinner, I'll be transparent.
That'd be interesting.
No, that I don't think so. This is printing nicely. I cannot tell a lie. It's working pretty good. So, Glenn, y'all are staying home for the whole holiday season, correct?
Yes.
Now,
yeah, it's too hard for us to travel during Christmas time because of the light show.
Right. Well, so y'all don't go see family at all, like for Christmas or New Year's? Or
I try not to go see my family at all.
Oh, okay. I got you.
No, generally we don't. Generally, we don't go anywhere for the holidays. I mean, my family, the close family, is still an hour and a half away, and because of all the lights and stuff, I need to be here in case something goes wrong. But
right.
Yeah, that's my excuse, and I'll stick with that.
Well, somebody just said that how does transparency work in 8 bits? Is my video that bad?
No, you look good today.
Hold on, I was going to check it on YouTube, but you know, with this new internet I've got, hold on, you may hear my YouTube start up. I don't know what's going on.
No, you look clear. Glenn Hogue says Rural King is based in Illinois. That's correct. I remember that now. And has somewhere around 100 stores in 13 states. They just opened one here in Huntsville. Yeah, I worked there for all of about 2 weeks. I've had a lot of really crazy jobs through my life, but I hated that job. I hated working there. I hated everything about it. I have never worked with a group of people that were so lazy, who spent more of their time getting out of doing anything than actually doing anything. So, and if any one of them are watching, which I doubt, I'd say it to their face.
You're not saying stuff to people's faces, are you, Glenn?
Oh my gosh, it was just bad. I mean, this is the kind of company. It's employee owned. The company is, which is awesome, except for like the company doesn't really have any money to spend. But when, like, if you work the morning shift, you tried to get there as quick as you could so you could get a radio. I was a department head. I ran the automotive department, and there was days that I wouldn't get a radio.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, it just crazy.
Right?
But the store was so dirty. And a lot of it has to do with the feed and stuff that they have in there. But, I mean, there was nasty, nasty dust. Like, when I took over the automotive department, they hadn't had anybody in automotive for like 3 months. And so when I took it over, all the top stock was just all over the place and stuff. And I took everything down and just, I wiped down every base deck and stuff. There was like a 1/4 inch thick layer of dust on everything. It was just bad. I don't even shop there. I don't even like to go in there.
Oh, wow.
Yep. In fact, I left Harbor Freight to go there. Took the job. I'm 2 weeks in. I get a phone call from my former boss at Harbor Freight, and he's like, "Hey, I'm getting ready to delete you out of the computer. Are you sure that's what you want?" And I'm like, "You know what? Why don't you go ahead and leave me in there?"
Right?
Harbor Freight was a good company to work for, except for they don't pay real great.
Well, and that, that's the thing. When I worked for Walmart, you hear all these horror stories about people working for Walmart. I will never badmouth that company ever. Yeah. They treated me well when I got in my motorcycle wreck. I mean, they actually charged me 0 medical leave time while I was convalescing from the motorcycle wreck.
Wow.
It was crazy. I mean, people came to my house. It was a great company to work for. They didn't pay enough.
Sean Butler said you've never worked for the government. That's
right.
True.
Oh, I hear
That's true. Alan said it's hard work looking busy.
Yeah, it's amazing to me. I worked for the state. I worked for the state of Florida, right? And my wife still does. But I will tell you this. There are more people working hard to look like they're working than there are people working hard.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It is absolutely amazing. My wife works in the department, and that's great because it's like this in every state department, not just hers. And I understand when somebody's out, you need coverage.
Right.
They have 3 people doing the job that one person should do. And I get it for coverage. There are some areas have 6 or 7 people doing the job that one person should do.
That would drive me insane. I can't like not be busy. I can't do nothing.
Well, I mean, each one of them, actual work-wise, work an hour and a half a day, maybe. Work. Some days 2.5 of actual work.
Sean Butler said, there are people in my office who sit behind their desk playing on their cell phones all day who complain about being worn out and overworked.
Yep.
That's crazy. No, well, and then, okay, so the automotive department, they've rearranged the store, but the automotive department backed up to the hardware department. And so they had the department head of hardware and then the department head of automotive. And when one of us would go to lunch, the other one had to like watch their section as well. Or when somebody needed a day off, like 2 days a week, then you had to run both departments. So with no additional compensation for that. But what was really crazy is automotive would get phone calls all the time for stuff like they want to know if you have a battery to fit their car. Well, you would have to go. The phone was all the way in the hardware department. So you'd get the phone call. They'd announce it over the PA. You'd have to walk all the way to the phone to answer the phone to find out like what the person wanted. Do you have a battery that fits a 72 Pontiac? Hang on. Then you'd have to put them on hold and walk all the way over to the automotive department. Look in the book, paper book. Now we're not talking the computer.
Right.
Flip. Look, find the battery number. Go find the battery. Then walk back all the way to the phone, and you'd be like, "Yes, we have it. It's $72.99 or whatever." And then, like without fail, they'd be like, "Well, do you have a cheaper battery, or do you have one that fits a such and such, or like why didn't you ask me that the first time?"
Right. Well, Stephen, thank you. I'm glad you can see that I've lost weight. That's nice.
Tristan said, "Glenn, you could have fooled us. You do a good job looking busy every Sunday stream." That's right. That's right.
Thing about it is these streams started off where we were going to work on projects and that type of stuff, and they have devolved somewhat. We still work on some of that, but it's just a day to hang out with you guys.
Well, what's really crazy though, I mean, it was to finish the projects that we didn't want to sit and film, and then like I got all caught up on those. Now the only projects that I have are ones that I need to film, so. Glenn said I was IT support for a government office in Huntsville. We usually stayed pretty busy. Oh, IT is always busy. Always.
Let me tell you though, man, I was contracted by a state agency to come in and rewrite, and I've probably told this story before, but to rewrite their Fox Pro programs. Okay?
Fox Pro.
into a new
I haven't thought about Fox Pro in so long.
Exactly. Well, and that's the thing. I was one of 2 C# programmers that they found that knew how to work on Fox Pro. So anyway, they hired me, and I go in there, and this guy has all these reports that run in Fox Pro, right? So anyway, I have to shadow him for a month to see what he does, so I can see how the reports and all are used and all this stuff. Anyway, every day, he prints off these reports, right? And he walks around and he hands them to these people, right? So we do this for like 2 weeks, and I'm like, okay, none of these people are excited or seem too impressed when he hands them the report. So we go around and we're handing out the reports, and I say, I'm going to stay around and talk to this person about what they do with the report. Anyway, so I'm sitting there, and I go, okay, what this report that he runs for you every day, what do you do with it? She said, well, they told me he did it when I got here 7 years ago, but they never told me anything to do with it. So they're just stacked right there in that corner. Dude, she had a stack, and I'm sitting in a chair, so you can't really see, but she had a stack of reports in her corner that was about this tall, and they were 2 pieces of paper each. Okay. 19 people he printed this report for. One of them needed it.
Wow.
One person needed it. Okay. They could get to it and print it themselves. He didn't even have to print it for them. So his job was obsolete because that was his only job, was those reports.
Well, that's why he was printing them.
Exactly.
He wanted to keep his job.
Exactly. And nobody needed it. So, yeah, and he did that for at least 7 years that this lady had been stacking them up.
Wow.
And I don't know how many years on the other side of that the person before her was stacking them up.
Yeah. That's crazy. By the way, shout out, Rover is here. I haven't seen Rover in quite some time.
Right? What's up, Rover? How are you, buddy? You can tell he's been out for a while because he says, remember. Remember.
Paul Comer wants to know, what do you do with your empty spools? I actually just gave a whole bunch of them to 3D Maker Kid because he's got a project at school. But otherwise, I put them in the regular recycle bin, whether they're recyclable or not, and I let the county garbage people take care of it.
That's mine pretty much. Whenever they're empty, they go out with whatever the next trash pickup is.
Yeah.
Or they sit on my floor for a while until I kick them about 5 or 6 times, and then they go out to the next.
The bigger ones are good for some Christmas lights, for wrapping up some Christmas lights.
Right.
But generally they're not big enough for that.
I do have one that I put up here because those big rolls of purple filament that I have, I don't have a way to hang them above this to put filament into the TiVo.
Right.
So I leave it on the floor and use that as a pulley style thing for it to pull over. But other than that, I don't have a use for empty spool.
Lester, I do not currently, that's not true. I do currently have video of the lights from last year. I've just never edited the music in because you can't really hear it. So I have to edit the music into them. And I know I keep saying that I will get that out, but I will get that out. I'm just going to post it to my personal account so that if I get gigged, it doesn't hurt anything.
He's been saying that for the 2 years that I've known him on YouTube.
Yeah. Well, I did film it last year. I just never got around to editing it.
Right. Because I really wanted to see it too, and that just hasn't happened.
Yeah, you need to just drive down here and see it in person.
Man, it's almost 3 hours to get there.
Oh, boo-hoo-hoo. If you put up a massive light show, I'd drive up and see it.
If I drive down there, I'm living in your camper for the night.
Well, that's great, except for I sold that thing like a year ago.
Well, then the people that you bought it probably wouldn't like that very much.
No, I think it ended up in the state of Texas, to be honest with you.
Well, that's a little fur.
Lester said, kind of like Walter's Stargate.
Yeah, right. And I hate it. I really do that I haven't gotten back into the Stargate. I've soldered a couple of lights, but dude, I get so aggravated. I just immediately aggravation sets in.
Well, and the one project that keeps nagging me, other than the FK1, the other project that keeps nagging me is the MP-CNC machine. But now that I've really looked into the CNCs from open builds, I really think I'd rather go that way.
Right.
If you haven't checked out those machines, they're amazing. They are amazing pieces of equipment. So, and there's just constantly with projects that I'm working on, I think all the time, wow, I could use a CNC for this. I could use a CNC for this.
Right. Oh. So did you watch any football this weekend, Glenn?
No. My Christmas party consists of, we leave relatively early Friday morning, and we have a day of work where we do team building, and that starts at an escape room, and we have competitions first at an escape room to see who can get out first, and then we go for lunch, and then we do have a team building that does something good for the community. Like this year we did an event where we put together Christmas packages for kids in an orphanage, and then after that the spouses meet up with us, and then we have a really nice dinner, and we stay overnight at a resort. So this year we got to stay at the Gaylord Palms down in Kissimmee, and it's always a good time, unless you don't like parties.
Right.
I just usually stand over in the corner and watch everybody else drinking. But no, the company does a really nice job putting that on for us. So,
well, 3D Print Llama said, yeah, if he had any money, a CNC would be purchased. I think my next one that I want to purchase, well, one thing I want to get is either the Frozen or the Phenom, one of those two.
Right.
The big resin printers I want to get. But my next outside of 3D printers buy is a 80 or 100 watt laser engraver.
Yeah.
cutter engraver.
I mean, I have this. This is just an engraver that's on here, and I still haven't fired it up yet because I haven't taken the time to research the software and such that I need to be able to use it. So,
was that the laser on? What is that? A CR10?
It's on the CR20 Pro.
Yeah.
So,
you got the link to that? Is it a kit that goes on there?
It's a it is a kit. It's made for the CR10. Wavelength 400 to 400 mil. Is it millimeter? I don't have my other glasses.
Yeah.
Is that right? Is it millimeter?
Yeah. Oh wait, 400 nanometer.
Is it nanometer? Yeah, that could be.
On the light. Yeah, it's nanometer.
It's written tiny. Allow me to go get 9 pairs of glasses.
Greg Maker's Corner says don't bother with diode lasers. Yeah, no, I don't plan to. I'm going to do a CO2 at about 100 watts, I think. 80 to 100.
Don't bother with what?
Diode lasers.
Diode lasers.
Which is what you got in your hand?
Yeah. Yeah, 400 to 450 nanometer, class 3B. Light is emitted from this aperture.
No.
So, but yeah, a company sent that to me for review. So I need to get it fired up and figure out if it works.
And see, I was trying to find a laser that would cut like 3 mil aluminum. But
cutting aluminum is hard. I tried to get Travis Pyro Design.
Yeah.
To make me a part for the FK1 back when the bed was going to move. I was trying to get him to cut the Y plate, and I sent him a piece of, trying to think if it was, I think it was 3 millimeter. And his laser, it just made a mess out of it.
Yeah, and that Greg Maker's Corner said you got to have a fiber laser for that, and it's much more dollars because it's a different wavelength of light. And it's crazy.
I don't know what Travis's is, but I know it cuts steel no problem. But because aluminum dissipates the heat so fast,
right? He said I could go plasma. Yeah, but that's still not as clean as a laser.
I was gonna say it's not gonna give you super precision, like
right.
That's not really what I'm looking for. Like small detail, you're not gonna get like super small detail.
Right.
Out of a plasma.
And see, the thing about it is Sean Butler's got it right. I was looking at the project that is a DIY water jet.
Yeah.
But, dude, you know how fast you can cut a finger off with a stinking water jet?
Yeah, but, I mean, you know how fast you can put an eyeball out with a laser?
Yeah, but once you shut the door and hit go, you know.
I mean, you can cut a finger off on a table saw. You don't put your parts in there.
I don't have one of those either.
I've got a couple of them.
I've seen a guy cut his finger off on a table saw though. So.
Yeah, we had that happen in middle school actually. No, it was on a bandsaw, not a table saw. Bandsaw.
Well, see, Tony Ryan, and I thought about that, but if that was the case, then say 100-watt laser, if you use something like tape or something over the top of it, it wouldn't reflect until you cut through the tape. So yeah, I mean, I was thinking about that myself, and it just
tape on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah,
set tape on fire for sure.
There was a point in my life where I had some money that I could have invested in a water jet, and when I went and looked at them, they were over $100,000, and I thought, nah, I'd never generate enough money back off of it.
Yeah, right.
And not because they can't, but because I'm not motivated enough to do it. So. And
see, that's me. I want a hobby laser. I want to be able to cut aluminum. It's not the main focus of this, you know.
Yeah. Well, and see, that's why I'm figuring, you know, like one of the open build CNCs, I can just cut the aluminum on that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm never in a hurry. I don't need to produce, 50 pieces a day of whatever I'm doing, because I just refuse to turn hobby things into a business, because then I'll hate doing it. That's why I don't try to generate money with 3D printing.
I completely understand that.
Instead, it just takes all my money. my wife just yelled, "Yeah, it does."
Yep. Man, I'm gonna tell you right now, if I had just say half of the money that I have spent on hobbies over the years, I would be a rich man.
Oh, of course.
Anybody need any ammo loading equipment? Because I've got a lot of it. Anybody need any knife making equipment? Because I've got a lot of it. Jeep parts, I've got a lot of those.
Don't have the Jeep anymore. We got all the parts.
Got all the parts, no Jeep. Yeah, I've got 5 35 1250 mud tires out there just sitting there.
Just sitting rotting away. Yeah, well, I mean, I still have my 92 Eagle Talon. In fact, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them in total. 2 are complete, and the rest of them are parts cars. In fact, one of them's inside of another one. But and I have a garage full of parts, but I haven't driven that car in over a year. It hasn't been tagged since I moved up here, so it hasn't been tagged in 14 years.
I got another card as well, Christmas card, and I haven't seen him in here. 3D printing and painting. Him and his wife sent me a card as well.
That's nice.
Thank them too. Sherry Smith said, "Heck, if I didn't go through 2 divorces over the years, I would have some money too."
Well, now, technically, you can go through a divorce and get money. It just depends on how the divorce goes.
Sergio, I am printing a tree frog on the CR20 Pro. Now, did your CR20 Pro come with the BL Touch?
Yes.
And the magnetic bed?
Yes.
Okay, because this is the one Creality sent me to test, and then I could never find them on sale.
Well, mine came from Creality as well, and I never went looking for them.
Well, and that's the thing. I think they sent us stuff that, because we're small YouTubers, they just sent us stuff they were never going to sell.
Yeah, they just didn't actually want. Well, again, like that could be because I had worked with them on getting the CR10, which they sent me the CR10S Pro, and the CR20 just showed up. Like we never talked about it; they just sent it. So
yeah.
Greg said, Eagle Talon was the car I wanted when I was in high school. Man, that was a sweet ride. Yeah, I had mine running about 12-second quarter miles. Probably won't do that today. It's been sitting too long.
Wow. Old Kamoja said a kid in shop class cut through half his fingers. Cut half through his finger. I thought he cut through half his finger.
Coping saw?
I'm like, dude, in order to cut through half of your fingers with a coping saw, you got to deal with some serious pain.
Well, not only that, or, like you start cutting and you're just like, I'm going to get through this.
Not one of those, Glenn. One of the electric ones that sits there and goes up and down.
No, that's a coping saw. You're talking about a jigsaw.
No, they make a coping saw that's a table. It's got a table. And
that's a scroll saw.
Well, it's the same thing. Coping saw and scroll saw are the same thing.
Coping saw is a manual saw shaped like this with a blade.
Whatever.
You have to really just be sawing away on your.
I was going to say, I bet he's talking about a scroll saw, not a coping saw. It's the same thing.
Manual.
Oh, what?
That's crazy. I suppose if you maybe if it was stuck in the wood and you pulled it hard, you could.
Yeah,
you
I
could.
guess so. Wow.
Yeah, I have a similar story that I did, to myself with a pocket knife, but I'm not going to tell it. I'm not going to tell the story on the. Those out there will just have to always know that something happened with a pocket knife that cut me in this finger down to my bone, but I won't tell you how it happened because I don't want any other idiots out there trying to do what I was doing.
Oh man, I must have forgot to. This print failed. Pause. Cancel. That came loose off the bed. But I do know my TiVo will print now. So
it's so funny. Every time I hear somebody say TiVo, I think about the TV recording DVR unit.
I never had those.
Well, I never had one, but I used to sell them at Best Buy.
I couldn't ever get past the subscription just to record TV.
The monthly charge to record your own stuff, right?
Yeah, right. And I could never get past that. All right, so I will do another model to print on this. I need to clean the bed with some alcohol. Let's put some alcohol. Here, y'all want to see this? Watch this right here.
Little for the bed, little for the Walter.
This is how you put alcohol on the bed. You just kind of dump it like that right there. Make sure all of y'all follow my example now when y'all go to print and just pour alcohol all over your printer.
Yeah. Like get some on top of your head and up and down your arms. And then...
yeah. Well, I could have done one of those movies like.
Sherry says she's trying to print some flexible ornaments. I still have yet to print anything flexible. I got a roll from Polymaker of Polyflex that I really need to give it a run. And then I have tons of samples out of the maker boxes. It's just I can never think of anything good to print with it. Scott Ackmonkey said, I have 6 vehicles, 2 daily drivers, 2 trucks at the house that haven't moved in 2 years, 2 convertibles I haven't seen in 2 years. Yeah, I have a similar collection, Scott.
What do I got here? Let me try that one.
Half his left pointing finger in a table saw 3.5 years ago. And
wow.
Still alive and well. My typing is a bit slower, but
I'm going to try to go find me something to print here real quick.
Yeah, Sherry, Best Buy was a good company to work for. It's a great company for the younger folk or the older folk that just want a putz type job. I worked there for about 5 years, and I didn't hate it. I just hated retail. I burnt out of retail in general. So, but Best Buy as a whole, and now like they've really laxed. Like you wear the Best Buy shirt, but you can wear like jeans and stuff, and yeah, it's a much different world now. So, Tom Lama said to then light it on fire, Walter.
Yeah, right.
That way it warms the bed for you.
Yeah.
Need an E3D Hemera to do good with Flex. Yeah, I didn't get one of those for testing.
A what?
The new E3D Hemera.
Yeah, no. Yeah. I think you have to have a few more followers than what we have to get those for free.
I don't know. I didn't even try. I didn't ask because I knew I didn't have the time to do it. Robbie Mack said, Dad, on the other hand, no pun intended, lost 2.5 fingers on one hand on a table saw. Then one finger on a router table 2 years later. Those routers, boy, I watch people run routers and they don't treat it like a power tool. Like they treat it differently. Like, oh, it's just a router. Those things will tear you up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Chris Riley might be getting a Hemera, but I'm pretty sure the Chris Riley will be buying it.
Probably, yeah. Sergio said he bought one for CR10S. That'll be interesting to see. Chris Lane said, I got a hernia.
You know, it's really funny. A lot of people don't realize how much stuff Chris actually turns down and buys himself.
Yeah.
Just so he doesn't have that.
Yeah, he doesn't want the overhead, you know, that hanging over him that he has to give it a good review.
Right.
Greg asked, I wonder if anyone's lost a finger or smashed one up with a 3D printer. I got bit one time by the bed on the AM8. Like I went to grab a chunk of filament out from underneath it, and the bed came forward and wasn't like, I mean, it didn't get me, but it got me. I knew it happened. Tony said he should accept it and give it to one of us guys to review.
And that would be great, but I mean, you know, the company would then just say, well, you know, that we're not going to send you anything anymore.
Yeah, we're giving it to you for you to review because they're looking for the and I won't really say that about E3D. E3D is not really known to go looking for subscriber count, but
now if he wanted to review it and then send it to me to use, that would be great. I wouldn't mind that at all.
Paul says he gets nozzle burn. I think we've all been there at least once.
Right?
That stupid little thing gets hot.
That is a fact.
Don't touch the hot parts. Never pick your nose with a soldering iron.
Oh, man. I was going to do that next week.
I don't know if I've ever told that story, but when I was in college, one of the things that we had to do for part of the test was write 3 safety rules while soldering. And that was my lab group. That was one of the ones that we wrote. Don't eat the solder. Don't pick your nose with a soldering iron. And I can't remember what the third one was.
Man.
Jim! What's up, brother?
Who? I missed it. I was looking at Thingiverse. What's up? Oh, wait, that's Eggy the Tech.
Oh, Eggy the Tech. Sorry.
That's Greg.
It says it right there, and I still got it wrong.
I know, right?
Anyone currently using a Mira? It's a good question for this group. I know I am not. The next extruder assembly going on to the FK1 will be the Mosquito Magnum. And I will be driving that with a Bondtech. Yeah, Chris Lane, I've seen that picture out there. She's holding it like a pencil. So like if this is the hot end of the iron and you're supposed to be holding it up here, she's holding it way down here like this. But she's not even using it as a soldering iron. It looks like she's using it as like a logic probe.
Have you ever seen the video of the guy that answers his iron?
No.
Yeah, he's ironing his shirt or whatever, right? And you hear the phone ringing or whatever, and he's just aggravating and it hangs up or whatever, and he keeps ironing or whatever. Anyway, he turns to do something to the phone rings again, and he reaches and grabs it and lays it on the table beside him, and it goes off. And then it's sitting there and it rings again, and he just picks up his iron and sticks it to his ear. And it was hot. I mean, you could see it was hot. And he stuck it straight to his head. Hey, Froggy got done and hit the camera. Isn't that nice? Why?
Smells like chicken.
Why on earth would you have your ending script to take the model to the back of the board?
Yeah. Which one of mine does that? I think it's the CR10S Pro, so that must just be a Creality thing.
Well, it is. It's the ending G code, I'm sure, in the profile.
Yeah.
But I haven't messed with the profile. That's what I want to do here in just a little bit after I find me a model to put on my TiVo. And I'm not recording it, Glenn. Don't worry. Is to do a profile for the Prusa slicer for this CR20S Pro.
Well, that'd be nice. When you get that done, I'd like to have it.
No.
Sherry Smith said, I bought a lot of Ninja Flex on Black Friday and thought I was going to print some Christmas ornaments, but having a lot of issues. Have you printed, Ninja Flex before, and have you printed flexibles before?
Right.
I understand it. That's a whole different animal.
Somebody asked me the other day about the Prusa slicer settings. I can't remember who it was, but I was talking to him and I told him, I said, you know what? With flexibles, there's nothing that slices better for me than Prusa. When I choose their flexible preset, because it slows the print head down, and all of that, the feed and all that stuff for you, you don't have to mess with any of that. And in other slicers, you have to set all of that. I have never had any problems printing flexibles with the Prusa, using Prusa Slicer. All of my other printers are really long Bowden tubes, so I can't really use them for that.
Bowden setup. Never liked Bowden.
That's a pretty frog. He turned out really good. Very happy with that.
There's a video of Ninja Flex printing at 100 millimeters a second on a tool changer with the Hemera. Hemera? Probably saying that wrong. Hemera.
Hemera? Is it Hemera?
Yeah, it used to be what?
Hermes.
Hermes, right. But they had to change it. So now it's the Hemera, previously known as.
Right? Yeah, it's kind of weird that, you know, all of the stuff at Earth was all Hermes, and then now it's the Hemera.
Right. Yeah, Hemera, feminine of Hermes. Yeah. Next, it'll just be a symbol, like friends. Oh, absolutely.
All right. Somebody just said they printed Dobby, and I'm going and looking for a Dobby to print. That sounds like something I'd like to print. Maybe. Depends on how many supports I have to have. Oh, quite a few. Oh no, that's just not going to work for an FDM printer. Not for me. That's a lot of support.
They got a cease and desist letter, a cease letter from a company who sells a Hermes. But what was the product? What was the original Hermes?
Yeah, that I don't understand either. I mean, I get, you know, the company protecting their intellectual property. If that's what it was, then
Right.
I get that. So, oh, I got new comments. I must have scrolled up.
Either the handbag company or some UK shipping company, I heard. It was a clothing company, I think. Not 3D printing, but the company said they own the name. I think it was a clothing company. Yeah, handbag, something like that.
Well, I mean, you know, yeah, that's what you got to do. But I just think when you're going with a product and that's your name, you would search for that. And I don't know what these are.
Yeah, I don't know. I would think, you know, where it happened early enough, you know, it wasn't a big deal for them to change it.
Yeah, no, before the release. So.
For 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, E3D said they didn't want to delay the release by fighting the name.
Right. Who would think that it's legal to patent a Greek god's name? I don't know. Ask Monsanto. They've patented seeds that occur in the wild. So go figure.
Paul, I did print your maker coin at one point. I don't currently know where it is, but I don't currently know where a lot of things are.
Yeah. Tony Ryan said they probably thought that Greek gods were in the public domain by now. I can understand their frustration with that.
Yeah, just going to have to start making up words to name things. That way nobody else has made up that word.
Yeah. Man, never realized how slow 3 megabits per second actually was.
Oh, your internet connection?
Yeah, I'm downloading this zip file that's 117 megabytes, and I still got 12 minutes left.
Yeah, if anybody's looking for micro SD cards, Amazon's got tons of them on sale right now.
Do they? 'Cause I know a lot of people are looking for them.
Yeah, 'cause I know a lot of people are looking for them. Yeah, if anybody's looking for micro SD cards, Amazon's got tons of them on sale right now. Do they?
'Cause I know a lot of people are looking for them.
Yeah, I just bought 128 gig for my phone, and it was like, I don't know, $17 or something.
What?
Yeah, it blows my mind.
I got to go look at that. Come on, man.
Well, here's a 128 gig full-size one for $16.74.
Oh, wow.
Here's a 200 gigabyte for $24.99.
Dude,
400 gigabyte for $46.55. I mean, that's almost the size of my SSD hard drive.
Yep. 512 gigabyte, 100 megabit per second Samsung, $64.99.
It's crazy.
512 gigabytes. I need to put that in my Microsoft Surface. I've got 128 gig Microsoft Surface that I could put that in, and I mean, I'd never need another hard drive for it.
Right.
That's ridiculous. Yeah, 32 gig ones are $5.49, limited time deal. Oh, you saw the SanDisk, right? The deal of the day, the 200 gigabyte for $24.99.
That must have been the one I was looking at. I was just in the 12 days of deals. Yeah, $24.99. Oh yeah, deal of the day.
Yeah, they've got a 256 Samsung Evo, the fast one, and it's $27.99 for 256. So for $3 more, you get 56 gigabytes.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. Wow.
How about a 5-port D-Link? Oh, unmanaged. I'm sorry. I thought it said managed. I was going to say a managed hub for $10, but it's unmanaged.
Yeah. Here's a 1 terabyte SanDisk, 1 terabyte Extreme Micro SDXC UHS 1 memory card with adapter. It's $237. So.
Oh, there's a snowblower on sale.
Still though, that's a 1 terabyte micro SD card.
Yeah. Yes, which is crazy. So I remember when I got my 240 megabyte hard drive.
Oh yeah, I've got a 10 megabyte out there that's like this wide.
Yeah. Real thick, like real like.
Yeah. But my thing is, that's 1 terabyte of storage that'll lay on the pinky finger.
Yeah, the size of your fingernail.
Yeah.
Yep.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah, the problem with all of that is like you put that in your phone and then you'd never delete any of the pictures out of your phone or move them somewhere. Like they would just sit in your phone forever.
Oh, I know. No, you're absolutely right.
You'd forget they were in there.
Yeah, I don't know about that. But you are absolutely right about that. I mean, you would just you wouldn't care. Yeah, old curmudgeon said that's 4x the size of his PC SSD.
Tony Ryan said I had a full height 20 meg hard drive. That might be what's in my portable PC. Sunballer said, I'm not ordering from Amazon until after the holidays. Last order I made under Prime said 4 days instead of 2, and estimated delivery date is 6 days. I think it depends on what it is. Because
Right.
I've been ordering stuff and still getting it next day, some of the stuff. Felipe in the house.
You know, why don't they put stuff like DDR4 on sale?
Because they know you're going to buy that regardless.
And tell me, I mean, and I'm not a computer guru by no means. I understand that RAM is some certain type of memory, right?
Right.
But if they can make a 1 terabyte SSD or micro SD card, why is a 4 gigabyte stick of DDR4, $40, or 8 gigabyte stick, $40, and you can get 256 gigs of micro SD for $24?
Well, my answer to that is because computer RAM is made to read and write much, much faster.
Yeah, no, and I get that.
No, wait. This is
Sorry.
This is like the professional answer. It's
Okay.
made right, much faster. It has more needed onboard support hardware. But really the truth comes down to, because they're making huge profits on it.
There's no way. There's no doubt they are. If they can sell a 512, which the thing about it is, you can go get right now. You can get an M.2 500 gigabyte hard drive for $50-$60.
Right.
Okay?
But again, that's still slower. That's still slower memory.
Yeah, so. And volatile versus non-volatile RAM. Right. I get that. I understand that, but it's mostly the profit. It has to be.
Oh yeah, it is greatly in the profit margin. It always has been.
I mean, I understand how memory works. I understand the difference between NAND flash and Intel's new what is it, Optane memory. I get that. I understand those differences. Why are you? I didn't even touch anything.
Well, and then hard drive prices.
Oh wow, yeah.
They've obviously come down through the years, but they should be way cheaper than they are now. And it's so ridiculous because you can buy an external desktop drive, shuck it, and take the hard drive out of it, and get. Well, I'll pick on Western Digital specifically because that's the brand I use. When you shuck the drive, you're getting a white labeled red NAS drive,
right,
for less than half
of what that drive costs.
If you just bought the drive. Now, technically, you avoided your warranty when you shucked that, so your mileage may vary.
Well, not only that, you're not guaranteed to get a white label red drive either.
That's true.
Now you're likely to, but some of those are not the red label, the red drives.
You are correct. That is true. Sometimes it is not, but
I watched that guy shuck a couple the other day, and one of them was a red drive and two of them were not.
If I was to do such a thing, not that I ever would, because again, you're voiding the warranty, so I would never participate in such activities. But if I ever was to, every one that I've ever done has always been a white label red drive.
Well, and Greg makes a good point down here. Look at Apple's latest pricing on MacBook. It's $800 to go from a 500 gigabyte hard drive to a 2 terabyte.
Yep, and there's a reason for that too, because you have no other option.
Right,
you're going to buy it from them, or you're not going to buy it.
Right.
So yeah, no, that's purely greed right there. Sherry Smith, but GPUs have gone way up in price, which is very true. But I think a lot of that was because of the demand of people who were doing the bit mining.
Yeah, but you think about it though, okay? Used to top of the line video cards, and I'm going to say around 2000, the year 2000-ish.
Okay.
Top of the line, I mean, very, very tip top of the line video cards were $400. Okay. If you get the top of the line video card right now, it's like $2,100. The very best video card.
Yeah, my brain is registering the year 2000 hardware wise. 2000 is a good year because the whole Y2K thing. So I'm trying to think graphic wise, that would be like the Diamond Multimedia.
Yeah, I think we were still in the AGP slots or something, weren't we?
What's that?
Weren't we still in AGP slots in 2000?
Yeah, I would think that was AGP then.
Yeah, but my problem is that even after the bust, or it's not bust, but even after this decline so much of everybody getting rid of their mining drives, which I have to say I got 2 of them sent to me, so I appreciate that. But even with the bust of that, the prices haven't come down back to where they should be.
Oh no! It got driven up, and then they're not going to They're not going to bring them back down.
Right. Because it's crazy. It is just nuts. Because what is that? That one RTX 2080 Ti is like $2,100 for that card, for that one card.
Yeah, I just can't. I can't wrap my head around paying that much for a graphics card.
I can't wrap my head around paying that much for a whole computer.
Right.
And I'm talking about with virtual reality and everything.
I can wrap my head around spending that much on a computer. I've done it multiple times in the last few years.
Yeah, no, I even my servers, Glenn, I bought all of my servers off of eBay.
Yeah.
And I think the most expensive one I bought was $300. You know? And don't get me wrong, the four 3Us that I have in there are $1,200 computers. You know, even now.
Right.
If you go buy one, they're $1,200. But it just I wouldn't spend that. I don't want to spend that on a computer. Ever.
Yeah, that's, I mean, like if you go look at the prices on the Intel i9 processors, it's ridiculous.
But there's absolutely no reason to buy that. Any Intel i9 right now. Or that new 10 whatever.
Yeah.
The Ryzen 9 3900 blows their doors off in most things. And there's just no sense in buying it. I think I've got a splinter in my finger.
Well, except for that I'm a diehard Intel guy and won't ever buy an AMD processor.
Well, then you're stuck in your ways and you deserve what you get.
Yeah, that's okay.
I had a splinter in my finger.
I'll just cut it off. You'll be all right.
You know what's really funny? It must have been there a day or two because I just mashed it and it popped out. So it had enough stuff around it and juice around it that it was slick.
Yeah, your body was tired of it, wanted it out.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you what I did. About 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I developed a slow leak in my back tire, right? And I thought it was I didn't check it, but I thought it might have been the valve stem or something like that. You know, because it wasn't leaking. It was taking it 4, 5, 6 days to even leak down 10 pounds. So I'm like, okay. So I went the other day to get it plugged or fixed. He comes back. I'm standing there watching. He goes, "You ran over a possum." I'm like, "Why?" He said, "Because here's his tooth."
Oh my gosh.
I guess I had ran over some roadkill or something, and the possum's tooth got stuck in my tire.
Holy cow.
So, hey, I'd never done that before. I've ran over a whole bunch of carcasses in the road, not on purpose. I try to dodge them when I can, but there are times you just can't.
Right.
And I've never had that happen, ever.
That's pretty crazy. I had a 4-inch bolt go through my tire one time.
Yeah, that made it. Hard.
In the tread and came out the sidewall.
Oh, wow.
Didn't even flatten the tire.
Did you have a run flat?
No, I have commercial tires on that monster that I drive.
Oh.
It was all stuck in the rubber. Chris, remember that anytime Glenn complains about slowness, he's Intel only. You will never hear me complain that my computers are slow. They are not.
Yeah, see, I'm. It's just like me and my vehicles. I'm not tied to any one platform. I'm not a Linux guy. I'm not a Windows guy. I'm not a Android
I'm not a Windows guy.
What's that?
I'm not a Windows guy. I use it, but I don't like it.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I use it because that's what I make a living doing. So, you know, no big deal. But it's just like 3D printers. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm a Prusa homer. I love my Prusa. It does what I want it to do. Something got unplugged and then replugged in. So, I just don't. I don't have that brand loyalty like that. Even cars, you know, people Ford, Chevy, Dodge, whatever. I don't have that.
No, I used to be diehard Chevy. I was a Chevy guy my whole life. And then I won't say it's because I bought a Ford, but right about the time I bought my Ford, that's when Chevy was going through all that bankruptcy crap and the government bailed them out and their quality went down. And That's when I quit being I went to whatever vehicle I like.
Well, there's only one product that I just refuse to use. I have never owned one, nor shall I ever own one. Now, I do have one that somebody gave me, but I've never used it. I was using it for development, and that's any Apple product.
Yeah, I don't have Apple products just because I don't like them. I don't like the way they function. Like, I don't like the user interface.
Right.
But that's just because I've always used PC and never took the time to really learn. And it's fun to pick on Apple fans.
Well, and like I said, I don't really care about anything else. As a developer, I didn't like Apple, so I just never jumped into their space.
Yeah.
And they're priced way above what they should be priced for. So
absolutely.
I've always been that if I can buy it cheaper, I'm going to get it cheaper.
Well, and I mean, I don't know if it's true anymore, but Apple products used to be very reliable. I don't know if that still holds true today, but you do pay a little bit more, but they are more reliable, or they used to be more reliable.
I would have to say it's as reliable as any electronic, That Glenn guy looks like the kind of guy who would pre-order a Tesla truck for the aesthetics.
Ah, Brother James in the house. Yes, I love the looks of the new Tesla truck that was designed by Elon Musk when he was 4 years old.
Mike asked me how can I say I don't like something that I've never tried it. I didn't say I didn't like them. It doesn't say that. I said I will never use them. Nothing about liking Apple. I have zero experience with them, so I can't say I don't like them. I don't like them as a company. I don't like them, me being a developer, that type of thing. That's it. That's the only thing. So I can't say, and if you like Apple, then great. Use Apple. I don't like Apple, period. Now, had I bought their stock in 1984, maybe. Maybe I would like Apple.
Doesn't necessarily mean you like Apple. You just like the money you were making off of it.
Exactly. Have you ever seen that movie with Tom Selleck? What is it, Parents or something like that? And throughout the whole movie, he's driving his dad around, and his dad he had Alzheimer's, and he burned his house down and all that stuff. And the whole time he's like, McDonald's, and Tom Selleck the whole time is like, we'll get something to eat in a minute. You don't need McDonald's. Anyway, finally, he had sold his dad's shoe store, and they go into the shoe store, and the old man, while he's talking to the new owner, the old man goes into the back, and he comes out with this old shoebox, right? And he looks at Tom Selleck, and he holds up the shoebox, and he goes, McDonald's, like that, right? Well, anyway, they finally go to McDonald's and eat, and Tom Selleck takes the shoebox, and they go home and all that. Anyway, later, Tom Selleck's going through it, and it's McDonnell Douglas stock from like 1940 or something like that.
Wow.
The guy that. Yeah, and because Tom Selleck he got lost his job or something, and they were having to move out of their house. Anyway, it was a pretty good movie, and it was funny. I think it's called Parents. It was pretty good. I like that. You know what, Tony Ryan? I am actually printing a fantasy castle right now in FDM on the Creality CR10S Pro, and I'm printing it at a 0.05 layer height. That's what I started. You see the head moving in the video right now. That's what's printed.
0.05 layer height?
Yep. 0.05. Yeah, it's like super fine. It's been printing now for 21 minutes, and I would say it is
on the second layer.
No, it's 3 millimeters high, maybe. No, because I'm only printing it like this big around.
Oh.
So it's like 3 millimeters high, but it's like super fine. Here, I'll put the camera on it for a second. See if I got that right. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, that's exactly what I'm printing. Yep, 0.05. That's right. And the thing about it is, I only did this. I remember slicing this model just to see if it would print it, and it does. It finishes it. So I'm hoping that it'll finish this one because it's in shiny blue and it's pretty. The shiny blue is very pretty. I like it. Well, and Robbie Mac, I actually did use a Apple IIe back in middle school. I did. The 2C and the 2E, actually.
I think I used a 2E in high school.
Well, yeah, but you're old.
No, my high school was just really low technology.
Right? Greg's Maker Corner said Oregon Trail. I actually still play that on the PC. You can download a version for Windows 10 for free, and I like the Oregon Trail.
You died of dysentery.
Yep, and I like the Yukon Trail too. I like to go up there and buy gold or dig for gold. Oh, Bard's Tail was the bomb. I remember in '91, my buddy in the Army, he got a laptop, and it was, this wide and this thick, and this had like a 11-inch screen or something like that, maybe.
Handle on the back.
Yeah. And the only game he had was Bard's Tale, man, and we would sit there and play Bard's Tale for hours. 2Gs was the new thing in, dang, that jumped like 5 lines, middle school. I like the new updates they've done with StreamYard. What do you think, Glenn?
What's that?
Have you seen the new updates they've done with StreamYard? No?
When did they do them?
I think last Sunday. That's right. It was after you hosted last Sunday. Their town hall, they announced they were releasing them, and I think they released them Monday.
Yeah. Well, I know I got an email from them apologizing for the issues they had last Sunday, which would have been when my stream just completely crapped and
I
disappeared for a while.
Later, James. But they
Hi, James.
They added so that now, like in the backstage area, when somebody comes in, it dings.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you can be doing something, and if you hear that ding, somebody else showed up. So,
that's pretty important.
Yeah, because I had my back to the camera a while ago when you showed up, and I heard it go ding. And I'm like, oh, cool. It did work. And they also now, there was something about the Facebook comments. You could reply, and it will post to your Facebook comments and everything else, which doesn't really matter to us. And there was something else, and I forgot what it was.
Doesn't matter to us today. Who knows what's gonna, what the future is gonna bring?
Right. Do it, curmudgeon. We can look at that.
Yeah, I want to see a picture of that because I wonder if it's like mine. Because you say laptop. I mean, mine's not a laptop. It's a portable PC, but it's got like a 6-inch green screen built into it.
Yeah.
It's got, I can't remember if it's, because I have 2 of them, but the one that actually works, I think, is only a single 5 1/4 floppy or 5.5-inch floppy. No, 5 1/4. And then it's got a hard drive, and it runs DOS 3.3 with Windows 3.0. And has Norton Commander, the original Norton Commander on it.
Right. Well, Mike just reminded me. That's right. They gave you the ability in the chat to boot people.
Oh yeah, I knew about that one. You can boot and block.
Yeah, and they are looking into co-hosting.
Yeah, I keep sending that feedback to them. They're probably just tired of hearing from me
About the co-hosting?
Yeah. I'm like, just make it where I can give other people admin rights. Because, I mean, it'd be so much easier if all 3 of us had the ability to throw the different chat things up,
Yeah.
X3 Gold. Oh, my gosh.
What? X3 Gold? Oh,
X3 Gold. That's a blast from the past.
Yeah, right.
So what I love is I mean, Norton Commander is obviously long gone. Peter Norton's legacy has become semantic, but If you run Linux, you can get Midnight Commander, which is a clone of it, and it runs command line, which is pretty awesome.
You know, I showed my age the other day. We were talking about something. I can't remember what it was. Somebody was talking about doing a text document, and I'm like, yeah, you throw it in Lotus Notes and edit it. And they're like, what? I said, Word, whatever.
Lotus 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. And I'm like, come on, you never heard of Lotus? And they're like, no. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, that was somebody. WordPerfect.
Yeah, well, WordPerfect, yeah, Lotus, they were all around the same time.
Yeah, somebody had said something to me about loading WordPerfect on the computer, and I'm like, what? I'm like, I don't think so.
Right? I'm going to tell you right now, my new Ryzen 5 2600X runs WordPerfect perfectly.
And then, like long before my days of Photoshop. Now, I started using Photoshop when it was in version 3, and it fit on a single 3.5-inch floppy. But before that, I used a program that was called Neopaint, and I just thought that was like the bomb. That program could do everything as far as I knew.
That was a free JPEG editor or image editor that came out. Oh, and it was so much easier to use, or it was easier to use, and it was free. And I think they're still around, but I can't remember the goddamn name of it. It was what? Not GIMP. No,
Yep.
It was prior to GIMP. Started with a J, I believe, but I can't remember it. Wow. They've got Mike said they've got a couple people that use Quattro Pro for old documents rather than recreating them.
Do you have to load that off a floppy?
Yeah, right. Oh, I do have, my father-in-law told me, because when I wrote this, I wrote a game for my daughter, right, to teach her ABCs and 1, 2, 3s and all that stuff. I wrote this in VB3 a while back, right? Did animations and everything, right? Had these little characters, did the voices, all that stuff in it. And my father-in-law told me the other day, he said, I still have the installation disc for that.
Wow.
Dude, I need to find an old floppy somewhere, stick it in this computer, and load that and see if it'll actually still play. That would be awesome.
Well, if nothing else, you need to try to get it off the floppy and over to a piece of media that won't die.
Right. Yeah, because, I mean, you got to figure, my daughter's 23, 4, and I wrote that when she was 2. So, yeah, it's 22-year-old software that's been on floppies for 22 years. I don't know if it still read it.
Timothy Harkness said, hello from Roswell, New Mexico. That's the good Roswell, by the way. There's also Roswell, Georgia.
All right.
That's a great place.
Well, and I will also tell you that for those of you that don't know, the 27th of this month, I will be pointing our nose back to the state of Arizona again. So we will be making that trip to Arizona one more time.
Piece of media that won't die. Floppies are forever.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they degrade.
It's funny. I'll be digging through a box here or there and come out with a floppy, and I'm like, oh, I wonder what's on this. I have floppy drives. I just don't have them hooked into anything. So floppies often had errors when they were new. That is true.
What I'm hoping is, though, that I can take the executable from that.
Yeah.
And decompile it, because it was in VB3. We should have decompilers now that'll pretty much put VB3 back into its original form.
Right.
So that was my hope. And then I could take it and turn it back into a new program, because it actually was pretty good, actually. Yep, Glenn and Greg, and we are going to Glendale. We're going to Luke Air Force Base in Glendale. I think I told y'all last Sunday that he is getting stationed in Alaska. Did I tell y'all that, Glenn? He's old and deaf, can't hear nothing.
You talking to me?
Yeah, I was talking to you.
I was over digging through the archives. I wanted to share some things.
Did I tell you last Sunday that my son-in-law and daughter are moving to Alaska?
Yeah, to Alaska.
Yeah. Okay. Just want to make sure.
So here's a couple blasts from the past.
Old Megabit Zip Drive, buddy.
But look at that's the 250. That's the bigger one. Now,
yeah, no, I had the 100.
Can you see how much that thing costs?
$25.95.
$26 for that.
Now wait. Did you ever get that the enhanced floppy or whatever it was?
No, I never had one of those.
I never did either. I knew a guy that had one, but I never got one either.
Yeah, I never ended up buying into that. Here's a 100.
Yeah, that's what I had. I had 100 megabytes, and I was like, man, I'll never use all this storage.
Yeah, right. I mean, like, I also have and it's not in here. It's out in the big garage, but I have the SideQuest Easy 135 drive as well. So I went with that technology originally because it was 135 megabytes. So, but it's like a hard drive platter in a case. I'll have to bring that in one week. But this this one is NEC. This isn't even actually an iOmega drive, but this is an NEC 100 megabit zip drive.
Yeah, Greg said he misses the 2.88 megabyte floppies.
Oh, the 2.88. Yeah.
that was the enhanced floppy, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah. So and then how about this? So
I can't see that. A mobile rack. What is that? Fans?
No. It is a caddy for a 3.5-inch hard drive, IDE.
Yeah.
So IDE hard drive. But what's great is this thing is brand new in the box.
Wow.
I mean, this is only like the third time it's ever been out of the box in its whole life.
Man, I would change that to a friggin' SATA. But, you know, you're keeping it for nostalgia purposes. I get it. But
well, it was given to me. I have no use for it, but the fact that it was still in the box. I used to deal with Manhattan way back when they first got started. Manhattan actually had a truck that was like a Snap-on truck that they would drive around to the computer stores and sell you stuff. So like mice and keyboards and all these accessories and stuff. But the Manhattan guy would show up, and then if we needed something, we'd just call him, and he would like bring it right to the store. It was crazy.
wow.
That was a lot of years ago. That would have been mid-90s.
Man, I hope y'all are watching this thing print, because it is not growing very fast at all.
Not at that layer height.
But I tell you what, man, the detail on this thing is phenomenal.
I just realized that I have my Prusa running time lapse, but the camera, oh, maybe it is. I was going to say the camera, I don't even know what the camera's pointing at, but maybe I can actually see it. It seems to be actually pointing where it's supposed to.
But how long has it been running without the Prusa running?
Oh no. I'm printing these plugs for my desk.
Oh,
it only runs when it's printing. At least I hope so.
Mid-90s, back when Walter was a young whippersnapper. Man, I'll tell you what, mid-90s is when I married my wife.
Yeah, mid-90s, I was already into my professional career.
I actually was not yet, believe it or not. Well, I'll take that back. If you say mid-90s, I would have to say yes, because I actually started my journey as a programmer professionally in 96. So,
yeah, I came right out of college and went to work. I mean, I found a company that was crazy enough to hire me.
Yeah.
when I applied, they were like, "Do you know how to build computers?" And I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely." I'd never built a computer. I'd taken mine apart and cleaned it and put it back together, but I'd never built one. And that was back in the days where the motherboards had like 150 jumper settings that you had to set. There was no plug and play anything. You had to set the IRQs for everything. And
yeah.
Like, and they sat me down at the bench with all these parts, and they're like, "We need you to build this computer." And I'm looking at all that, and I went, "I don't know how to do this."
And it's funny though, man. I used to hate it. Customers would bring in their computers, and they're like, "My video card just stopped working." And you get in there, and you're like, "Oh, there's an IRQ conflict."
Yep. Yeah.
What else did you plug in? Oh, well, I bought this other card right here and plugged it in. I figured it'd be all right.
Printer port.
Right. Oh God, I've got an old computer sitting over there. It's a 386. It's out in my shed out there, and it's still got the big wide parallel port, the printer port on the back, and all that stuff built onto the motherboard. Now these weren't add-on cards, and it's got the add-on SCSI card with the external SCSI connector on the back. And to hook stuff up, man. Sean Butler said he used to charge $100 an hour to solve IRQ conflicts. Yay! SCSI cards. I'm talking about even the one that I had was a little older than that.
Yeah, I had the one that looked like a big parallel connector.
Yeah, it's still got the clips on it. Yeah.
Yep. No, this is an Adaptec card, and Adaptec kind of sits close to my heart because they had an office raid in Orlando, and I actually had some friends that used to work there. But and then like anytime I had problems with my Adaptec cards, like if it was a driver issue, I could phone a friend and they would fix the driver, which was amazing.
Wow. I've got about 6 Pentium 2 servers in my shed out there that an old telephone company gave me. Yeah. And they have everything in them is SCSI, right? And they have a couple of those that have the SCSI cards in them, just like that one.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I like the old computer parts always just are near and dear to my heart, and I never like to throw them away, even though they have no use. But that was the better part of my adult life was being a computer tech. So,
well, see, and I did it in 95 to 96. Was really the only time I was ever a computer tech for money.
Yeah.
But in 96, there was a turf farm in South Georgia that needed a website, right? And it was like 40 static pages that were all identical except the image was different. And the text was different for each type of grass or whatever. So I wrote them this website, got it published. All the stuff was out there. They came in, they loved it. Anyway, they came in and they paid me, and I was charging them, and they asked me what I would charge them. And I had told them $2,500 that I would charge them to write those 40 HTML pages. And they were
nobody was doing it back then.
Right. But they were super simple, right? Anyway, they loved it so much. They walked in and gave me a $4,500 check. So I made, like $100 a page for these HTML pages that were just copy and paste and just change the text in an image.
That's crazy.
And when I brought that check home and I told my wife, I said, I'm doing this for a living, right? She said, yes, you are. Yes, you are. So that from then on, I focused everything I had on learning programming. So,
well, and there was a lot of good years of that, and then all of a sudden, everybody and their brother became a computer tech or a computer programmer. And
thing about it is, I made a lot of money off of those too, going back and fixing the crap they wrote.
Yeah. I remember applying for a job one time, and they had asked me how much I wanted, and I told them, and the guy like verbally scoffed at me, and I'm like, "Oh, not enough?" Like this. And he said, I can hire 2 people for that amount of money. And I said, but not with my experience, you can't.
Yeah, Greg said web programming back then sucked. Is it Netscape to do one thing, i.e. do something else? Yeah, man, but you think about it, though. Every month you were getting to do something new. Every month it was something new. I remember when, what was it, it wasn't DirectX. It was, what did they call it in IE? Dynamic HTML or whatever it was that they came out with, where you could do drop shadows on text and all that other stuff. I was like, man.
But web programming now is still that way. There's still things that do, like there's certain things that function in one browser that don't function in other browsers.
Yeah, but it's a lot easier now. You can do if statements to code around them.
Well, not only that, but you just don't use that. Like there's enough other options out there, but it's just amazing that it goes that,
But see, back then you had to and I took the VB script route, not the JavaScript route. So I did everything in VB script instead of JavaScript.
Yeah.
And now everything I do is in jQuery or JavaScript or something else. But it's amazing. And that's why I still love my job. People are like, don't you get bored? I'm like, no, because it's different every day.
Oh yeah. Well, and it's constant problem solving.
Yeah.
I always enjoyed programming because you ended up with something from absolutely nothing. Like you didn't start with anything. You started with a blank page and you got something in the end.
I used to tell people, because I built houses for a while, I said it's just like building a house. At the end of it, you can step back and go, I did that.
Right. But even then you had to bring in some 2x4s and you had to bring in some concrete.
Right.
With programming, it is literally nothing.
Well, not much anymore, man. There's so many libraries and stuff like that out there.
That's because the programmers today are lazy.
Well, yeah, we are. There's no doubt about it. Well, I mean, you think about the deadlines though, and like using .NET Core, which is what we're using now, if you had to write the libraries and stuff that you use for that, you're talking 5-year projects instead of 6 months.
Absolutely. One, not only that, but you lose the efficiency if you have a big team writing the same thing, they're all writing the same subroutines.
Exactly.
Instead of sharing. Yeah, no, absolutely. So. I remember when a floppy storage case was called a sweater. There's got to be an inside joke there that I'm not.
Got to be, because I've never heard that. I hear you, old curmudgeon. I don't want to write Arduino libraries either. Yeah, Greg, you're right. That's what we did 15 years ago. When I started Sam's Club, or I was on the startup team for samsclub.com, and we had this auction site that we did Sam's Club auctions with, and it was out of Boston, and we had to come up with a way where we could poll from their site to ours what was going on their site. There was no such thing as an API. So we had to design and create an API that we could use. And it was all from scratch. I mean, It's crazy. There was no XML standard. There was no any of that.
No JSON data.
Wait, I missed what?
No JSON data.
Oh, yeah, no, none of that. I mean, yeah, there were you could do flat files passing back and forth. But XML was relatively new, so we started using XML because it was easier to parse.
Right.
But that was still when you had to write your own parser. You couldn't just hand it an object and the code go, okay, that's a blah blah blah, and create a class out of it. You couldn't do that then. You had to parse it line for line and figure out what was going on, and it was fun.
Yeah.
Sean Butler said he's been at his current IT support job for 21 years and he's dying to get out. Well, we're all dying to get out of our jobs, just doing it slowly.
21 years of the same job. That my head doesn't work that way. 2 to 2.5 years was about my average lifetime at any one job, unless there was like a major move inside the company.
Right.
Like my first computer job that I ever had, when I started there, I was working in the office in Orlando, and eventually they let me move to the Kissimmee office. So, and then I ended up taking over. I became the branch manager. So like the job itself changed, the scenery changed, you know, like that was enough. And I was there for about 4.5 years, but then it was like 2 years, 2 years, 2 years, 2 years. This company that I'm with now, if I have my way, I will retire from them. Like I won't leave this company just because the company is so good. But yeah, I couldn't imagine staying at any job that kind of time.
I don't know if y'all can see it or not, but the fantasy castle is finishing up the top rail on the fence that goes around it. This is my thumb beside it. Here. I'll lay my finger on the side. You see that?
I'm waiting for that nozzle to touch your finger.
Yeah, right. No, I'm not gonna do that. But I mean, that's the layer height that I'm getting on this thing. And this thing is tiny, and it's printing freaking nicely, man. I mean, I don't know if you can see it in y'all's video or not, but in OBS here, I can see the railing, the pylons, very distinctly in the video.
That's pretty cool.
Here, we should be able to do it this way. There you go.
Loon said, my first computer was a Texas Instruments TI 994A with 16K built-in memory.
Wow. It is, Llama. It is a silk. Wow. Texas Instruments TI 994A. Yeah, I had the VIC 20 was my first one, 3D Loon.
Yeah, Commodore 128 was my first. Which you had to just immediately run in 64 mode to run any programs on.
Yeah, because there weren't any.
Right. There was nothing made for the 128.
Yep. Commodore +4. Never heard of it. +4.
I still have my original Commodore 128.
I've still got a VIC 20.
Yeah.
I've still got an Atari 1200. And I do have a Pong system. I haven't hooked it up in years. I wonder if it still works.
Oh, a Pong. I think you said a Palm. I was going to say I have a Palm Pilot.
Oh no, I threw all those in the garbage.
Yeah, no, I have one because it hooks to the CPU in my Eagle Talon. It's the only reason I still have it around.
Yeah.
But I got tired of the batteries going dead on it all the time, so it's got 2 big D-sized batteries strapped to the back of it.
But yeah, I've got a Pong game out there, one of the original ones.
Oh, Carl, you're just jealous that I have cooler stuff than you. I gotta do something with that big garage of mine. So I just fill it up with crap I'll never use again.
Mattel Aquarius. I never heard of that either. I had an Odyssey.
Adam once. Tape drive system. It kept crashing on Flash Gordon game, so returned it for the 2E. An Atom. Wow.
I remember when the Atom came out, I was like, I gotta have one of those. So I actually did get an Atom. I don't have it anymore. I wish I did, but I don't. That one guy on YouTube, he's got one. I forgot what he's called. It's like Vintage Computing or something like that.
Yeah. Plug and play, print and play.
No. It was a different channel than Print and Plays, but he does vintage gaming.
Right.
No, this guy does all vintage computers. So
yeah, there was a group at Orlando Maker Fair that had a bunch of old vintage computers set up and was letting people play video games on them and stuff. Carl, not really. At least my custom printer print stuff. So does mine.
Where's his comment at? I don't even see it. Oh, there it is. I see it now.
I'm watching in the actual window. I'm not watching in the.
No, I was looking for Carl.
Oh, instead of Knack 3D.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't see Carl's comment. And I'm like, oh yeah, Knack 3D. I forgot. Or Naked. That's right. Naked Design.
Prove it. It was at Orlando Maker Fair. printing up a storm. He's in
Glenn
there.
Hope oh, so go ahead.
No, I was just yelling at Xander.
Glenn Hope said he started microcomputers at Computerland in San Francisco in 1977.
Computer, man.
Well, you think about it, though, 1977, we were 5. So,
That's true.
huh?
That's true.
So we couldn't have started then. Really, old curmudgeon? The first person to know what an atom was? Dude, when the commercials came on TV, I wanted it so bad with that tape drive. My VIC-20 all I had was cartridges in the back. Because I couldn't, my parents wouldn't spend, because it came out and it was like 130 bucks or 140 bucks or something like that for the whole computer.
Yeah.
But my parents wouldn't buy me the $100, disk drive for the VIC-20 or any of that. So I didn't, or the tape drive either. I got one later on in life, but I didn't use the VIC-20 at that time.
Yeah, I have to think about the house I was living in. I was about 12. Well, I would have been turning 13 because my birthday's on Christmas. So it would have been the year I turned 13 was when I got my Commodore 128, and I got the computer, the monitor, and the disk drive for Christmas. And then I got like the printer and stuff like that and some games and stuff for my birthday. It was the only year that my parents ever combined Christmas and my birthday, just because the cost on that thing was so massive.
And see, I got my VIC-20 when I was 9 for Christmas. Man.
Carl asked, so have you got the bugs out of the FK1 yet? The FK1 has no bugs, man. I don't know what you're trying to reference there, man, but it's got no bugs. It's perfect.
Lester says ZX Sinclair, anyone?
That one I'm not familiar with.
3D Homebrew said he wrote his first program in Algol in 1970. Those are some useful skills now, ain't they, bud?
Well, okay, so when was the last time you seen anything written in Pascal?
Probably about 5 or 6 years ago.
So the program that I use every day for estimating, based on Pascal. So all the tools that I have to custom write for it are in Pascal.
Yeah,
it's like, really?
Yeah, Florida has a system that they use for billing. I believe it was written in Pascal.
Wow.
So we had something that we had to interface with on samsclub.com, and one of the guys there had to write some Pascal for it. So I have never personally worked in Pascal, ever, like worked in the code.
Yeah, well, I had never really either until all of this, and then I had to go. I mean, like pretty much once you know one language, you can adapt to another,
right?
For the most part. So I had to kind of do some digging and stuff, and then one of the girls in the office had asked if there was a way I could write a manual to teach other people how to do that, and I'm like, no, it's just not going to happen. Dave Havery says he still uses Fortran every day.
Oh wow, yeah, no, I don't want to deal with Fortran either. I've actually had to deal with it before. Most of the APIs were available in Pascal first. Man, bringing back the old days.
That's right. The good old days.
Well, I guess if you say so. Flight simulation is still Fortran and KNRC. Okay.
Ugh. Yeah, I was looking because I used to have I don't remember what desk I had it laying on, but I had an old one of the original Pentium processors laying around up here.
An old Pentium processor?
Yeah, the Pentium 1.
Oh, I was fitting to tell you, I got, like I told you earlier, I've got a few servers out there with Pentium 2s in them. I think I got one with Pentium 3.
Yeah, well, I've got I think 2 computers out in the big garage that are running dual Pentium 2s and one that's running a dual Pentium 3.
I bet Chris is going to be upset that he missed this stream.
Why is that?
This is stuff he deals with every day.
Yeah. Well, he deals with mainframe, which is a completely different animal.
Oh yeah.
Where are you going? I thought my cat was coming to visit, but bye, Paul. Thanks for being here.
Later, Paul. My contact is starting to act up.
You have to punch yourself in that eye real hard, and then it'll straighten.
Yeah.
6 running on IBM RS6000 hosts.
What?
Mainframes. The IBM RS6000.
Yeah, right before I left Walmart in 2005. Yeah, 2005. They had just gotten the Java APIs where you could interface between like a web program and the mainframe using JavaScript.
Okay.
That was pretty cool. And now it's common. I mean, but then it was new and it was really cool. Later, Sherry Smith. Never seen that name before, but thank you for coming.
Been here.
Has she?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember ever seeing the name.
Glenn Hogue said, I came across a YouTube video last night from Dartmouth about Kemi and Kurtz and the new development of BASIC. Oh, and the development of BASIC.
Oh wow, that'd be cool to watch. I'd have to watch that.
Yeah. Line 10. Your fart smell. Second line. Go to 10.
Right. So then you could put what was it, the comma or the semicolon at the end of the line or whatever to make it go diagonal across the screen and fill the screen instead of just going straight up and down.
I can't remember that, but yeah.
It was crazy. I don't remember what it was either. Later, Greg's Maker Corner. Thanks for being here, buddy.
How's everybody leaving? We still got 6 minutes, man.
Yeah. And you know, it's sad because I'm going to have to run shortly. I mean, I'll say bye and all that stuff, but I got to run shortly after because we're having chicken and shrimp fajitas tonight for supper, and I get to cook. And I have to eat before 7, so I have to leave here, go to the house, cook fajitas, and eat before 7 o'clock.
Well, I would hope that you'd say bye. This is on your channel.
I was talking about bye to you. Yeah, semicolon. There you go, David Houghton. There you go.
If you don't say bye, then I don't get to say bye either.
And we could pull a Glenn and just do the end broadcast right now.
I have something really important to tell you.
Clip. See ya.
Uh,
Yeah, that was a Glenn thing if I ever saw it. All right, what are we doing here? I'm looking for my printer settings. Custom. Where's the bed temperature at on this stupid thing? I forget. Print settings.
well, 2 more. I need 2 more plugs, and the whole desk is filled up finally.
220, 250. Yeah, there we go. That'll work. All right, slice it. Slice it now. Let's see how it kills anything if it does. It shouldn't. I have been pleasantly surprised with this Ryzen 5. Empty layers detected. The output would not be printable.
So I have been desperately trying to find an IP cam that's not $5 million. That is just a straight up IP cam so that I can put a camera on my printer that doesn't require an app. It's like every one of these webcams now require their own app.
Yeah.
I just want one that I can access through the browser. So if anybody's got a recommendation on that, I'd love to hear it.
Well, now, are you wanting to access multiple or one?
Really, I just want one. I want to be able to put one camera on the FK1, being that it's over there.
Look at the AM Crest cameras.
AM Crest?
Yeah. Now they are pan, zoom, tilt cameras. I mean, they're not cheap, but they have their own web, and you can actually get them through the other thing, the RMTP and all that other stuff too.
Yeah, because I mean, they used to sell a ton. Used to sell a ton of different cameras where you just go to the IP and they would work.
Oh yeah, the FOSS cams and all that other stuff.
Yeah, but
that's what these are.
Yeah, everything requires its own app, and you know.
Nope, you can get those. I've got 5 of those AM Crest 1080p cameras. They are fantastic. What's up, Edutech? How are you, buddy? There's Jim.
There's Jim. Mike, I actually have 3 of the Wise cams, but they're version 2, and version 2 doesn't support the RTMP firmware anymore. Unless something has changed recently. I tried it back a couple of months ago, but I use a Pi Zero W. They have a pre-made OS that is IP. I think I looked into that, and I think it was just the cost of the whole thing that got me. But man, maybe not with a W. I don't know. I'll look into that again too.
And he is absolutely correct. I was actually looking at an IoT camera the other day, and the Pi Zero W, which is Wi-Fi. You plug the camera into it. It's you'd have to 3D print you a case for it or something. But I mean, I don't know what the Pi Zero W costs. I didn't look at it, but I mean, you're talking less than $50.
Yeah. Yeah,
because the whole, well, then you got to have an SD card or whatever. But the whole deal, the whole spiel right here, it's cheap. So
yeah, I want something decent so that I can have it in OBS and be able to punch over to it and have a camera on that too. So
yeah, the one I looked at was an open source webcam, and it had a web interface and all that stuff. So
Jim, what are you using for NAS? Because I was looking at building a NAS box and decided to just put some more hard drives in my Linux server.
Oh, I was going to tell you too, Glenn. I was taking those hard drives out and putting them in, the hard drive caddy and all that stuff.
Right.
I went ahead and I bought a new case for that computer.
You bought a new case for what?
For that computer that I had built that I had on the table here.
Oh, right.
I bought a $25 case, and it actually holds like 8 hard drives in that case. So it worked out perfectly. And I've got 6 in there with 14 terabytes in that computer at home. And then I added a couple more hard drives into this one. So I've got 2, 4, about 8 terabytes in the one I'm on right now. And I've still got 22 terabytes worth of hard drives that I just took out of those servers. I took out of my rack, still laying in there. So I might be looking at building an NAS as well.
Yeah, I just picked these up. I have one already that I shucked. I mean, if I was into that kind of thing.
Right.
So the 4 of these will stack together, and I'm going to do a RAID 5 and shoot for 24 terabytes.
The biggest problem I've seen with building a RAID box is the enclosure. Some of those enclosures are just stupid expensive.
Yeah, well, I have my stuff runs in, even my regular desktop is in a server case.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's got
I won't run in these
drive bays.
Yeah, I won't run in these. The minimum I've got in there is 8 drive bays, but I won't run those because they sound like jet engines taking off.
Right.
So, but anyway, guess what? It's time for you to do your thing, buddy.
It's time to go. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Glenn from Fun King 3D, and this has been a wonderful 2 hours that went by fast, and I thank you guys for letting us walk down memory lane. That's always fun to me. I'm glad I got to show you still some of the old antiquated stuff that I have laying around in boxes, oddly enough, and I knew where it was. We thank each and every one of you guys for tuning in to Fun in the Country Basement. And I say it every week, and I'll continue to say it. These streams would be useless without you. We need each and every one of you. We love each and every one of you. We love the fact that you are here. We would love for you to hit that thumbs up if you're not already subscribed, which would just be crazy in itself. You can actually do that right through the channel for Walter, or you can go Fun in the Country Basement or funcountrybasement.com. There are subscribe buttons to all three of us. Chris will be here next week. As of right now, I believe that next week is going to be the last show that we have of 2019. We'll do one more, and then we're going to take a couple of weeks or a few weeks off.
3 weeks. 3 weeks. Right? 3 weeks.
3 weeks off. Just so that, because the holiday seasons are so busy and stuff, but of course you can always tune into funcountrybasement.com for the latest updates as far as that goes. I can be found pretty much everywhere out there at FunKing3D. If you want to reach out to me, please do so either via mail, which would be Glenn with 2 N's at funking.com, funking3d.com, or through the Twitter, which is really where I prefer people to contact me. And I think that's all I got for now.
I got you. And I'm Walter, Kuntry 3D. It's my channel. Thank you very much. And you can get in touch with me everywhere at Kuntry 3D, Instagram, Facebook, blah, 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 blah. I will be continuing to do live streams starting after we start back with Fun in the Country Basement in January. So next Sunday will be the last time that I get to see y'all's lovely faces, unless I get a wild hair and just pick up my camera while I'm in Arizona or something like that and go, hey, everybody, how y'all doing? But other than that, I'm not going to live stream anything until after the New Year's. Can't wait to see Chris again. He's been ignoring me pretty much the entire time this business trip. He did email me one time, said he would be back next week, so he will be here. Thank you all. Glenn said it best. We love just hanging out with you guys, and that's why this stream just turned into a love old tech fest. And that's great. That's great to have every now and again. I tried to print some things while we were going, and some things are printing. But anyway, that's it. I got to get out of here. I got to go eat my supper so I can continue on my diet. Bryce Schwartzwelder just got in here, and Carl, I saw what you did there. We will have a great night. So y'all have a good night, everybody, and we will see you on the flip side.
Print on.
Wrong one. I did the wrong one.